have 24 days in a row I've worked on this. Not full 8-hour days. Got a day job. This is a moonlighting project. I'm making a game here. It's called The God Killer. On this moonlighting project, I have a streak of working on this for 24 days in a row with no breaks other than the other parts of life. So, yeah, big deal. BFD. So I was out having drinks with some friends about a half hour ago, and I was looking at the watch. Not the watch, I don't have a watch. I got a phone. The phone's got the time on it. It's sort of like a watch. Look at my phone, and I just saw that time edging up towards 6 p.m. And I knew I could start streaming, and nobody would care. Nobody would care if I started at 6 or not, but I would care. I would care if I got to it at 7 or 8 or 6:15. And I wanted to be coding as close to 6 as possible. It's part of the progress every day, because I'm going to get this game done. I'm serious AF. So what am I doing? Today, I've got a lot of satisfaction with this new element we call Beamer. And the Beamer walks around through this world and shoots a beam out. And you know, there's no reason for me to talk through it. I'll just demo it. I can demo it. It's not hard to demo it. I'll just demo it. Why would I not demo it? I hit play. It's as easy as that. Sometimes I'm just in love with the sound of my own voice, and I apologize. It's really unnecessary. Standard disclaimer. Everything you see in here is in a stub-arty state. There might be a few things that are further along, but for the most part it's very stubby. Very stub art. Very temporary art. Okay, so the brawlers are just a distraction. The real thing that I'm interested in right now, this is a brawler I just knocked up here, is this Beamer. He's the new game element that I'm working on, that I'm active on, and he just loves to slice me up with his beam. When I die, I go to this thing called an egg. That's sort of like a respawn point. It's where I'm reborn. And one of the things that I would like to do is... Oh, dead. Yeah, he's really deadly. He just loves killing me. Kill, kill, kill. One of the things I like to do is get him so he's on a track. Not all the time, but in some levels I would put him on a track and it would restrict his movement. And I want to restrict two things about it. I don't want to allow him, while he is on the track, to rotate. So right now, his beam rotates to face whichever direction will more easily kill you. And I'd like, while he's on the track, to not allow him to rotate. And the second thing is I just want him to stay on the track. So you can see where my mouse pointer is over here. It's like kind of an early prototype that I made for the track. It would be like a slightly raised up thing. And he would be able to move around on I guess this pink part. I might color it differently. I'm not real interested in the cosmetics of it. I do want to decide at least if I want it to be something that protrudes above the surface of the ground that it's going to be on, or if it's going to do the opposite, if it's going to be like a indentation. Because if I make it an indentation and it goes down into the ground, that means that all my level geometry will be different. You'll have to kind of carved out sections where the indentation goes down the ground. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm working on this track part. The track part's going to constrain the movement of this beamer thing. So this is the raised version. This piece would have it be able to go, if the beamer on it, north, south, west, or east. The idea is like maybe I might make another piece that only allows west-east behavior. But if you look at it, it's a raised surface. And while I don't need to decide on the final cosmetics of this thing, because it can be replaced later, I do need to decide if it's going to be something that's above the ground, like this is, or it goes underneath. So I'll make the underneath version of it. And I'll just see if I feel a lot happier with that. So, prefabs. Prefabs are just reusable game objects in Unity. A game object is like any of these things. Like this thing here is a game object. This track is a game object. So if I take out the floor, make a little area for the sunken track to go into, then that can be the start of my experimentation. And I already feel like I'm going to like the sunken better, but it'll be a bigger pain in the ass. So let's take this guy, track flat, make a copy, bring it over here. Okay. Raised up like that, and then it does. Like I said, I don't have to make this perfect. I just kind of got to get the gist of it to understand how to make a game object, or more specifically, the mesh that will be replaceable later on with final game object or final geometry, and not require me to entirely redo my levels. Because I want to be able to start on level design without having all the cosmetics settled. It should be possible to have somebody like a contractor that is more specialized in 3D art and modeling to work in parallel. It might be kind of good. So what I mean is like so the contractor or this other person who works on 3D modeling could work in parallel, updating the meshes or the models that go into these game objects, while me or other people are working on level design, programming, stuff like that, and we're both chugging away. At some point, the contractor hands me these updated, much more beautiful than this versions of this asset, and I just pop them in and they still work. So that's the notion. That's what I have to decide today, even though I'm generally not caring at all about cosmetics yet. Okay, so if it were like this, if there was something like a kind of a sunken area, then I could take the beamer. Like so. And the beamer would just be on this track. It'd be kind of like the beamer had settled into a groove, which I kind of like. And to make it a little more like that, I could have a version of the beamer that was sort of on track, and the whole mesh could be lowered down so it kind of looked like they were resting on the track a little bit more. All quite possible. I don't know, I just feel like I'm going to like that a lot better, even though it'll be slightly more of a pain in the ass, because on levels I'll have to kind of construct this raised area any place where I want the beamer to be at, which means kind of a more complicated geometry. But I think it's going to be worth it, and it'll give me more variety in the geometry of the level. Alright, so let's just make some decent, clear looking stub assets, stub art, and then after that I can get to coding. So let's call this, let's see, make sure I've got this offset correctly. 12.2 negative 10. So if I took this here, it's 11.2 negative 11, and the track is way off. The offset is anyway. So I gotta fix the offset. So now, 11.2 negative 11, 11.2 negative 11. Okay. So that's the first thing, is just kind of getting the basic position of the thing correct, so that when I move its parent container and I put it in a certain location, it will predictably be shown where I expect it to be. Okay. So let's call this, I'm going to name it based on openings. North, south, west, east. So there's an opening on all the compass directions. I'll use that to give it its name. Let's go. Alright. Then I'm kind of wanting to know which direction's north. I've lost my bearings. What's this? Is this north, south rail? It's a south rail. So south is in this direction. Okay. So now I just duplicate and modify these things to make all the track pieces that I want. This one will be kind of like a little T-bone, a T-square. If I can get it to work. So weird. I don't know why it's not selecting. Weird. Okay, I must have a... Yeah, that's my issue. Alright. This one is garbage. Let me just start over with a better beginning point. Basically, I lowered this too far. Or at least I lowered it further than another thing that was in front of it. So let me fix that. So I messed that other mesh up enough that it was just simpler to start over with the mesh. So I'll do that. It's not quite right. I'm trying to make a kind of a symmetrical set of subdivisions. So this might be easier. If I go out, okay, that. Top 5, 1, 2, 2. Okay. Then go this way. Okay. So let's start with that. 11, 2, negative 11. I want to make sure that my coordinates are still correct for the parent container that holds this. 11, 2, negative 11. Good. 11, 2, negative 11. Good, good, good. Okay. That's track flat. Let's move that out over here. And I don't usually do this. I just don't usually fiddle with removing like the unseen surfaces because it's stub art and because the poly count on my levels is so low that it is a time-saving measure not to worry about removing all of these. But in this case, I mean, the poly count is so low that like the performance is just not impacted in any measurable way, noticeable way, I should say. So let's delete those. Do I also want to delete these? Yeah, I want to delete the sides too. But I want to get these deleted because as I make changes to the exterior and I make like them dip down, looks like I accidentally got too many surfaces when I did my delete. So let's undo. Oh, come on. I'm sorry, but today Pro Builder is not being my friend, if I'm honest. Usually I love Pro Builder, but today it's really kind of shit in the bed for me. I've complimented it many times. Oh, there we go. So the polygon just disappears for a little bit, and then it comes back. Don't let me say a bad thing about Pro Builder. I mean, I've been rooting for them for a while. And also, like, whenever you start complaining about like one piece of software or company, like they're the culprit, and there's really like an intermixing of all kinds of different things going on. Like there's OS. There's the OpenGL driver. There's there's Unity. There's all the friggin' packages that I added in on top. If something's messed up, am I sure that it's ProBuilder's fault? Am I sure? And if it was ProBuilder's fault, would I forgive them? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Because I myself have software that I've released that has some bugs in it. But I'm still a pretty good developer, or pretty good engineering manager. I've got so much forgiveness. So ProBuilder guys, and gals, if this is your mistake that I just saw, don't sweat it. I mean, try and fix it if you can, but don't worry too much about it. Don't lose sleep. Okay, so that should do it. This one will be my north, south, west, east piece. And the flat piece over there it's almost like a piece of raw sheet metal. I'm going to leave it alone. I'll copy from it, but I'm not going to bend it up. But then I'll take it over here and I'll make changes. I will bend it up. Make of the copy anyways, not the original, not the flat one. Okay. So what happens if I dip it down? Still looks pretty good. How far do I want to go? Well, that's too far. What did I do there? I think I want to dip it down as far as I can go without it seeming like it should impact the players walking. To here it kind of does feel like if the player walks on this square, they ought to walk in a different way. And I don't want to have to make a custom animation for them to walk onto this. So I'm going to make it come back up just a little. And that should probably be good like that. Yeah, I'll split the difference. And most of the time when you're looking at this, in fact inside of the game all of the time, it's kind of at this top-down angle. Which does not show the depth that much. Okay, alright, so taking that into account, I'll go down a little bit further, and that'll be good. I'll leave it there. Alright, so that's north, south, west, east. Let's keep going. Make a copy of my flat sheet of sheet metal. Yikes. Move that over. And this piece, I won't have openings in all the compass directions, just north, south, east. Okay. What does that look like? I I think this is going to work. I think this is going to kind of be cool. Except I renamed the wrong one. So let's call this one. We just keep going until I've got a complete set that I can use to define all kinds of tracks. And then I'll have the power to make any track I want. And that will be a frightening and terrible power that I will have. People will say, too much power. You let him just make whatever tracks he wants? Any tracks? Oops. They'll say that's crazy. That's too much power. But you can't really stop me, because I'm going there right now. One thing I wish I could do with cell shaders is get these interior angles that don't have as pronounced of a I guess it's like the normal difference to show up with lines. So I would prefer to have some nice comic book style lines along these interior edges, but their angles are not sharp enough. I can cheat with UV mapping. It's not really cheating, but it's a lot of work actually. So it's sort of the opposite of cheating. I wish it was this easy in real life to to bend metal into cool shapes. It's not even this easy to bend paper. Paper is a lot more work than this right here. You know, I could do this in one really fast, dramatic way. Come on. I don't feel entirely comfortable doing it this way, but I'll do it just for pure showmanship. I'll do it this way because I want people to get a little bit excited. I want them to have this feeling that I have, where I'm kind of excited about like what this will become. So anything I can do to kind of juice it up for you, I'm willing to give it a shot, as long as it's not stupid. You know, I don't want to like add in like strippers or something, you know, just because like that makes you excited. Because this isn't about strippers. This is about writing code and making a game. I don't want to like kill and skin a cat just to make you excited, because even though cats are terrible creatures, they don't deserve to die by cruelty. Yeah. So if there's any thrill to this for you, the viewer, in living vicariously through all my coding, it's going to require some imagination on your part. Alright, see what I'm doing? I'm marking off all these areas I want to descend, even though they're in like 4 different objects. I'm going to descend them all at one time. I'm going to do it for you because I want you to feel excited. Boom, boom, boom. And it happened. It was a great feat of engineering. Okay, now I gotta name them correctly. If they don't have a good name, I'll never be able to make sense of them later. If they're all called like track flat, I won't be able to tell which is which. So things must have good names. If they don't, we're just in trouble. If everybody's name was Tom, that wouldn't be good. Oh, that's if everybody's name was Eric, that would be a little bit good, but not that good in the long run. Very impractical. You know, I've made this collection of interconnected tiles. These are basically tiles, even though they're made out of 3D blocks. I've made it so many times. One of these is incorrectly named. I made the same set of tiles like 20 years ago. You know, I've done it like maybe 20 times since. Southeast and southeast. Okay, so that's south, and it's actually west. I'm getting confused because I'm deviating from my naming convention. That should actually be southwest. It's named not after its position, it's named after the little openings. This one should be southeast. Good. This one I'm going to delete. North, south, east. North, south, west, east. North, south, west. Northeast. Northwest, east. Northwest. Okay. So then the ones that are still need to get prefabbed. Just delete both of you here. What am I missing? Oh, one actually got deleted. That's why. That's why I'm missing one. Just put it back. Stupid thing about Pro Builder, I'm sorry, Pro Builder, I love you, but this idea of putting all the face selections as separate undo actions, it wasn't a good move, I'm sorry. What you could do instead is every time that the model actually changes, if there is an applicable selection that goes along with that operation, you could store that in the undo activity. But I don't want like every single little click I do to select something to be in the undo history. See, now I've got like 100 undos to go back. There it is, finally. Okay. Okay. Duck. Good to see you again, sir. I did check out, it's a zombie game, right? We Don't Serve Zombies. That was your game, right? If I got you confused with another person, I apologize. But I believe you had a game called We Don't Serve Zombies. Yes. Looks like it's off to a good place. Yeah. So let me get the names on these guys right. That's what I need to do, right? So I've got southeast, southwest east. South. No, this one should be southwest. Oh, cool. Targeting an actual release date. I like it. Ah, nice. Okay. I am far away from having like a certain release date for my game, which is kind of a nice luxury to begin with, and then after a while you gotta get real. So I'll do this a little more carefully so I don't mess something up this time. Okay. Track southeast. Why didn't I do that last time? Okay, that's fine. Then I can just delete this. Delete that. Okay, fine. Let's go through each one of these, make sure it is as it should be. Track southwest, that's a new one. Track southeast. North southwest. Northwest. Northwest east. Northeast. North southeast. North southwest east. Okay. So then I just got a few more and then I can start hooking these up to code. The ones I want. Basically, I'm making like a collection of tracks. Or they're like tiles that I can use to create any topology of tracks. Oh, appreciate it, man. I might check in your stream a little bit later. Depends when I knock off and if you're still going. One question for you, Diduck. Does it bug you if I'm ever not watching your stream, like physically watching it, but I just leave the viewer on? Or conversely, does that maybe help you a little bit because like it gives you an extra viewer, kind of bumps you up maybe above the fold? I mean, that's not that big of a deal. But okay. These guys all at one time, but I can't remember how many it was. I want them to match up with these other ones. Okay, I can't make them all depressed yet. Okay, yeah, I might give you zombie views. drag this one piece over just so I'd have something to line up with when I do this depression again. And I forgot how much work it is to make a set of tiles. Alright, let's bunch them down. There we go. Not as satisfying as if I'd done that in real life with actual pieces of metal, but pretty satisfying. Alright, I gotta name these guys correctly. So this is track west east. North south. East. South. North. That might be all the friggin' pieces I need. If I did it right, there should be 15 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Cool. I can delete the flat one. Okay. Now, let's make a proper track. Might as well add in the scripts that I'll need to associate with it, and that's not too hard. I'm making tracks. Tracks are a cool thing. Visually they look interesting, but they are also part of the logic of an enemy that it will follow around on the track. It will not leave the track while it's on the track. So they're going to be sunken, which I like. Not too many things do I make that are sunken. All right, Duck. Have a good evening. Assuming you're in a close to me time zone. F me. Hey, nice to see you. Track discovery. And then I don't even know what's going to be in it yet. I don't really have to decide yet. I just wanted to have a script that I could assign inside of here, and that will suit my purpose for the moment, and I'll come back to that in a little bit. God Killer. Track discovery. Where are you at? Where are you at? I just made you. Oh, I see the spinning. Gotta wait for the spinning, maybe. Let's try it again. No, come on. Come on. Let's build it. Here. Let's just do this too. Bool north. Bool. I'm just put the 4 directions in that will allow me to specify programmatically what the logic of each of these pieces are. So, you know, let's see, what are you complaining about? Oh, I've got them off in the namespace. They should go inside of here. And the other thing I want is discovery. iDiscovery. Okay. Good. You want me to add an interface? Now, that's good. What you've got there is fine. That'll work. Okay. So then I can build this, and that means that it should, after a little bit, be assignable as a script to the game object that I'm looking at. And I'm waiting for the little spinny. There's the spinny. Okay, now let me try it. Scripts. God Killer. What am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? Okay. Could be that I need to do mono behavior. That's probably it, actually. That's almost certainly it. Engine. This extra U always throws me. I didn't think Unity Technologies was British. Maybe they are. Okay. Can I have my script yet? Finally. Okay, so now this one will go east. And that's it. That one's done. Got the tag set to track. That one done. That one is done. Okay. Somebody texted me. I'm going to check that real quick. Oh, it's Elizabeth, and she says she's going to be home at 8 o'clock. So I'm not going to code super late on this. This is probably faster. So east and north. North and south. Alright. Got all my tracks. Let's delete the failed experiments. Let's make a track. I'll take out all these rails. That was my early version of a track. And I kind of realized it wasn't going to satisfy me. It does, these rails, they do keep the beamer all in one location, and it did reuse an existing element, which is kind of good when you can just sort of take an existing element and reuse it for a different purpose. But it doesn't constrain the rotation of the head of the creature. And if I were to sort of artificially, not artificially, but if I were to add an extra rule that said that the beamer was not able to rotate in position if he was inside of like this rail area, it wouldn't be intuitive visually. And also, I don't have so much here as far as representing the aesthetics of a level that I want to keep reusing the same elements for things. Having a little visual variety is going to make the game look better too. So, to make this, I'm going to want to kind of, just like if you were building in a house a sunken area, you have to do the same thing here. You basically, to build a sunken area in a house, you make a portion of the floor raised. And you carve out underneath the raised area the parts you want to be sunken. That's, like, I'm a big expert on sunken areas, but if you just think about it, it's what you have to do, unless maybe you created a house and there happened to be like a big hole in the middle of the ground. No, and even then you can't, because you need like a foundation of a house. And if you just like kind of decided you would have your whole foundation be split open in the middle with a hole, the foundation of your house would not work well. So my analogy does hold up. Alright, let's just pull this out a bit. I don't want to recreate every possible situation or every permutation of the tracks here, but I just want to start out with some, and so I can kind of see what it looks like, and that'll make a okay experimentation bed. Oh, come on, what are you even doing? I don't know why you did that. Okay, I'll move the egg out of the way. And all those brawlers have got to go too. They're just annoying me. I'm not here to play with brawlers today. Did I mention this is all stub art? This is stub art. This is not final art. Do not be demoralized. Do not dismiss me because of my stub art. That would be foolish. That would be foolish of you to do that. Because I know how to make good art. Alright? I don't need you telling me that my art's ugly. I already know it's ugly. I don't care. I don't care. This isn't about the art yet. We'll get to the art. I know about art. Don't you worry. Floor. Where you at? Okay. This is actually going to look really cool once I put it in. This is going to look just fine when I get it going. This is going to be better than Disneyland. Better than Disneyland. Alright. Start putting in these pieces. Laying some track. Laying down the tracks. Not like a weak little DJ. Like a Walt Disney man. Walt Disney knew how to lay down the tracks. Tomorrowland Express. You know, Walt Disney, he had, like, in his own backyard, he had his own private little train track. More than one. He knew how to lay down the tracks. I just got a good feeling about this, you know? There's something like when you make interconnected pieces, things that are meant to work together, and whenever it's a little bit hard to make it, there's a better chance that it'll be something cool. Not saying like everything hard is more worthwhile, but there is some kind of correlation between difficult things and cool things. And making it go sunken is more difficult than making it raise up, which was my first design. But when I look at this, I'm immediately liking it better. And I don't know if it's because it's a bit of I'm patting myself on the back way too much here. I know that. It's not like amazing shit. I'm well aware of that. I'm just kind of playing with the relationship between aesthetics and engineering here. When something's a little bit hard to do, there's a better chance it's going to look cool. And I suspect that for reasons I outlined much earlier, that sunken tracks are not as familiar of a choice in 3D modeling because they're kind of a pain in the ass. So when I see this, I'm not saying it's the very first time I've seen sunken tracks like this, but I don't see them that often. Maybe they got a little bit of oomph because of that. Yeah, I'm really like sucking my own penis here, I know. Other thing I should be thinking about looking at this is how clear it will be what all these things are and how they affect the gameplay. So right now it seems pretty clear to me, but my head's like really kind of into it. So I might really be over what's the word I want? It might seem to me that they're more clear and easy to understand than they actually are, because my mind is wrapped around this task right now. So at some point I'll have to take another look at them. That happened to me with the first version of the Beamers, which I called the Trenchers. I was pretty into them. They used to take up two squares, and they had a body square, and then they had a head square, and the head square was on top of the body square. And I was super into them right after I made them. And then I realized, no, they're kind of hard to understand what the hell. No, they're hard to understand, like their layout inside of space, particularly from the angle that this game offers. So I changed them to be just one square. I took away their body, or you could say I squished their head and body together, something like that. Anyways, they only have one square. They became much easier to understand. I made them so that they would follow you around in a more deadly way that was a little more in line with what you'd expect like a real thing's intelligence to be. Usually when I do that, when I make a creature smarter like that, it makes the game harder to understand, but in this case I think it actually worked the opposite. So when I made it so that the head would rotate to point to the direction you were in, it actually became more predictable for me. That's not quite the right word. Yeah, I think it is. It's more predictable because you can't remember all the time when the thing is off screen, like which way its head is pointed. But if his head is just going to track northwesties, this one. Dang it. Which one is it? It's north, south, east. But if his head is just going to aim towards you, and there could be like 5 or 6 things off screen, and you see all their beams heading your way, and you don't have to remember you don't have to remember like what they were up to, or you know, what the initial angle of their head was, or when you last saw them. Um, so these things visually have a few problems. There's some gaps. And I'm trying to see if it's just a few pieces. Looks like maybe even just one piece. That is, yeah, it's just one piece, the north-south, or the, was it west-east? Oh, this is weird. Oh, that's really weird. Oh, God, you know what happened? Ugh. So every time that I hit the duplicate key, it copied made an extra copy of the object inside of the parent. Omega number, the last number, the number that comes after them all, except omega is not a number. Omega is, it's like a Greek letter. Hey, good evening to you. Okay, so I've got two little problems. Neither one is that big of a deal. This little offset here is incorrect, and that's not hard to fix. Let me just fix that. In set theory, it is an actual number. Okay, that makes sense. I never got too deep into math. I got kind of like a high school math, and then I came back and paid more attention to like the high school math again in later years as a programmer, but I didn't actually get off into cooler stuff like what you're talking about. West east. Okay. So omega, I am creating this new type of game element that goes inside my game. It's called a track, and it's supposed to influence the paths of different enemies, so that they walk around on the track instead of wherever they want to. And I'm just playing with, like, I'm not trying to get the aesthetics of it exactly right. I just sort of want it to not annoy me, because I'll come back in a second pass and fix up a lot of cosmetic stuff. But like this little gap here, that's just going to annoy the crap out of me. So I just want to fix that. And I suspect, because of the weird kind of copying thing I did the wrong way, that I'll have to redo these, but that won't take me too long. Okay, so is that lined up right? It's kind of hard to say. So that's, yeah, that's wrong. Okay, but let me just take these out. Well, all the ones that at least they've got like these multiples inside, that's wrong. I shouldn't have that. So delete that. Oh, and that was just west. Okay, good. I only had problems with that one. So pull west back out here. No, I mean west east. West east. Boom. Get my snap going how I like it. Are you snapping right? Are you snapping right? I don't think so. I must have overcompensated. I must have made it go down too far. What? It's not changing it. I thought that would have changed it. Oh, I know why. I'm moving the wrong object. So put you back and take this other one. That's the inner object. Move that up one. Okay. Smooth. It's so smooth now. It's beautiful. Or it's beautiful enough. Alright, get the snap. Okay, now just fill in all those tracks. This is the way you make tracks. And believe it or not, this is fun. I enjoy this. I mean, it would be cooler to build like a real track in real life, maybe, but I don't think I can make one this good in real life. So I think my track in real life would be made out of cardboard and plywood, and it would take me many weeks to accomplish some facsimile of what I'm doing right now in mere minutes. So that's making me pretty happy and proud of myself. Then, with all that in place, it starts to look not bad. What's this other thing here? This looks off. Maybe just a strange lighting thing. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, okay. So I'll make the top of this look like floor. And I really should stop thinking about anything cosmetic or aesthetics, because I have the goal on this game next to be what I call logic complete, meaning that all of the logical aspects, how the game elements move underneath the world outside of view, are all finished. Set that to floor. Let's bring the new enemy out over the top of this thing. So take the beamer, put the beamer on the track. And the idea is that the beamer would be coded such that it would only move along this track, and as a further constraint would not rotate his head while he was on the track. Alright. I know that he's going to ignore that constraint of the track for now, but I just want to see what it looks like. A quick demo, which is going to finish off my session. Because my sweetie's coming home and we're going to eat some food, and I even forgot to order some food, which I should have done a while back, but I didn't do it. Okay. Alright, so the beamer's up there. And I'm kind of running around in the crevices, hoping he doesn't get to me. He's shooting the beam over my head. I'm safe for now. Probably not safe if I get up out of these little crevices. Did I leave my way to get up out of them? It's okay. It's not a real level anyways. It's just kind of a playground level to test out the elements. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up here. So this is where I'm at now. I think tomorrow I'm gonna hit it hard at around 6 p.m. PST, and I'm gonna make this dude, the beamer, stay in his track. I'm going to tame the beamer. Beamer will walk around the track, not leave the track. And I'm going to see how that plays. And I do got to order food, because she's going to be here soon, and I'll say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't order the food. As long as I order the food before she gets here, I say, food's ordered. And, you know, nobody's irritated. Alright, see you, Omega. Thanks for dropping in. Stream stopping. Stream isn't gonna stop. Stop.